Hello class, hello. I wanted to make a video, as I told you, to trying to explain a little bit more of how I understand the difference between summative assessment and formative assessment. Now, summative assessment is usually considered this largest scale standardized assessment that we give our students at discrete point of time, middle of the semester, end of the year. We usually make a lot of decisions. We make inferences based on the scores that we get. And we compare these to formative assessments. Formative assessments are also referred to generally as anecdotal or informal assessments. Now, let me start by saying that I don't really like those terms because calling them anecdotal or informal assessments, it sort of takes importance away from them. It's to me, informal or anecdotal assessments is a synonym of unimportant, uh, and and in a sense, it gives more importance to the summative assessment. Now, I do know most of our districts in our states give all of the importance to the summative assessments, decisions on adequate yearly progress, whether we're going to keep our jobs, whether money is going to come to our schools, whether we're going to stay open. These decisions are made based on the scores of the summative assessments. However, we do know that an important part of assessment systems is not only to tell us about our students and how our students are learning, but it also needs to inform us about our practice. Now, we do know a lot of these summative assessments don't say too much about our practice. First, they don't say too much about our students either. We usually get these reports weeks later, months later, after the students um, are gone. They're not in our classrooms anymore. So, in a sense, they don't say a lot about our students either. Uh, and definitely, when we get these scores weeks, months later, it doesn't tell us how we're teaching. This is sort of a funny, ironic thing in a standard-based movement, in an accountability system that we have in the United States today, where we believe that if our students are not learning, if our students are not performing in these summative assessments, the blame is on the accountability, the blame is on the teachers. We must not be doing our job correctly, and yet these summative assessments don't tell us what we're doing right or wrong. So it's sort of an ironic situation. Here's an assessment. Let's see if your students are learning. If they don't perform, it is your fault. Well, what am I doing wrong? Oh, I don't know. This assessment doesn't tell us that. Formative assessment, so-called informal anecdotal assessments, do tell us a lot about it. See, I understand these assessments as embedded in instruction, where instruction and assessment is an ongoing process. It's embedded together. It happens. It's classroom-based assessment, classroom-based instruction, and it's embedded. It's aligned together. So it tells us a lot about our students. It also tells us about how we're doing as we are doing the assessment with the instructional practice. This is also linked to Vygotsky's zones of proximal development, and I link it in a sense to scaffolding, where is the student, as we are implementing our instruction, our pedagogical approaches, we're also assessing how the students are responding to our instruction, to our tools, to our activities, and we're modifying it to take them to the next level. We're moving students along as we are assessing them in the classroom, embedded in the instruction. In language acquisition, this is Stephen Krashen's input hypothesis, I plus 1. You don't want to take the student I plus 3, I plus 4, too far removed from where they are right now. You want to take them I plus 1, one step at a time. All these scaffolding, zones of proximal development, I plus 1, input hypothesis, all these are things that are revealed more clearly by formative assessment, ongoing assessments, embedded in instruction. And it would be really difficult to argue that a summative, large-scale assessment helps us identify any of these qualities of our instruction, informing our instruction. How is it affecting our students? Is it having a meaningful, effective effect on the students? And how does it tell us what we need to do next to take the students to the next level? So that's how I differentiate the two of them. This is how I make a distinction between the two of them. I hope that helped. I'll see you around. Adios.